Okay, hello class. Today we are from Asbir for to talk about finding the optimum location for solar panel using Google Earth Engine. So before we begin, we've come to the basic part of the analysis. So what is solar cell? The solar cell is semiconductor which has the N type and P type. It is the same as diode. We know diode like light emitting diode or LED, and it is the contrary of LED. The LED turns from electricity to light, but the solar cell, through photovoltaic effect, generates
Ito nga si Karina ko
electricity
yun,
from
nakadila. Nakadila si Karina.
sunlight. Of sunlight to electricity using the characteristic of semiconductor by exciting the electron from the n-type to p-type. In normal condition, which means no energy from outside, like the sunlight or solar energy, the electrons is in n-type and the hole in p-type, and it is separated by depletion zone. However, if it is exposed to additional energy like sunlight, the electrons from the n-type will go through the depletion zone, and it is becomes the electrical energy. If we got if we use the conductive uh, or we generate it like electricity. However, there's a power loss due to temperature. We know the formula the power loss is the square of current times the resistance. And the resistance itself is the resistor reference, which is before exposed to temperature times 1 plus the temperature coefficient resistance, which is based on the material of resistance, which is the semiconductor or it is solar panel. And it is if it is exposed to temperature, it will rise the value of the delta temperature, which is the difference between the higher temperature and the temperature reference. Therefore, we should know the optimum location to choose where we install the solar panel. The optimum location for solar panel needs to have high radiance for higher power output and low temperature for lower power loss. Today, the tool that we will use is Google Earth Engine. The Google Earth Engine is a tool that is free. It is combining dataset, spatial analysis, and visualization. Google Earth Engine is a JavaScript based. The native language of Google Earth Engine is JavaScript. However, you can use also Python as a library or as a package if you want to use the Python as the language for Google Earth Engine. But today, we will use uh, the native language for the Earth Engine, which is the JavaScript. The main constraint of using JavaScript it's, it is because it is a case-sensitive language, programming language. When we type the script or code like that, we should pay attention to the letter, like is in our space, and if it is like we type it as like this, and it will be turn on error because it is a case sensitive.
ఒక పిల్లగాడు అరే ఒక పిల్లగాడు ఉండేనే ఓ రామచంద్ర అని.
Okay, so what can we do with the Google Engine as a base? The first one is what we can do with the raster or TOTIFF data. It's called image or an image collection in our engine. Like we can use it as a embed calculation like NDVI or NDBI, and then we can flip it on our data. And then the second one is that file or vector or polygon data, which is called feature and feature collection in our engine. It is the same as what can we do with the data in our engine and other software. And then the filter, both the image and the feature, we can filter it by date or by bounds or by location. And then the reducer. The reducer means it is the descriptive statistics tools, like we can find the mean, the minimum, the maximum, the median, the mode of the input data. And then for the advanced, we can use the machine learning, like the classification and inclusion trees, random forest, Bayes-Naif, support vector machine, K-means, cobweb, and many more type of machine learning that can we use in our engine. And then the most important before we export or we download the data is we should set the scale, let's say like resolution, and then we set the coordinate reference system, and then we can export it and maybe we can analyze it in another software. So how to register for Dart Engine? It is the first step to use Dart Engine is to register for Dart Engine. And then there's a link. You can go to that link and you can watch the video, the step-by-step how to register for Dart Engine. But today, I'll assume you have already registered for Dart Engine. So we can begin the class. The first step after we register to our engine, you can create an account name. And you cannot change the name of your username after it's created. And then after we have the account name, we can create repository and file. Repository is like a folder. There is you can save many files, and files is the place where you type the code. And then we can set the region or area of interest to begin our analysis. There are three types of set the to set the area of interest. We can draw it. We can use the shape file, and you can use the global administrative layers from our engine. And after that, we can use the radians and temperature data, and we can classify it. We use for class to find the most optimum location. Okay, we'll go back to the step. Okay, the Earth engine is a browser-based tools. It is an online and free, and we do not download it. So we can go to code.artengine.google.com to use the Art Engine, and it's like this. We can go to the next step, which is create repository and file. If we already have the 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 Art Engine account. So how do we do it? First, you go to scripts, and then you go to new and repository.
So, kailangan mo tignan kung saan ba na-locate yung study area nyo.
To name the repository, you cannot use space. You can use the underscore or dash. And you must start with the letter, no number in the front. Like you can use the maybe solar panel, June 2025. Then we can create it. After we create the repository, we can check the repository. We find the name of solar panel June 2025. And this repository is empty. How do we fill it the repository? We can go to new and then we click file and then we choose the repository, which is the solar panel June 2025. We can change the name from on that file to maybe like solar panel, and then we click OK. After we create the file, we can go to the name of the file. We click it to change from the new script to the solar panel script. Okay. Then we go to the 11th slide, which is to specify the region or area of interest. By first, there are three types that you can choose. You can draw it. How to draw it? Like you can go to the map, you go to your region of interest, like this maybe, and then you can use draw a shape. You click it, and we specify the area of interest. Okay. We can change the name from the geometry to another name and the color. Like we edit the layer properties and we change the color, and then you can change the name, like the area of interest, the first area of interest, and then click OK. So there will be a variable of area of interest. It is var OI. The other way to use how to specify the region of interest, We can use the zip file that we already have. On the link that has been delivered, there's a drive folder which consists of the material and the data. You can use the data. We can right click and then we download it. And it is the zip file data. After we download it, you can go to the engine, we go to assets, we go to new, and then zip files. And then we choose the array example file. You can find it on, you can read, we open, and then you can click upload. You can see the process on the task tab. It is still processing. We wait until it is blue like this. We wait. It is still processing and uploading. Okay. After it is finished, we can go to the assets and then we click the refresh asset sketch to find the other example new. We can click the share button and then we click anyone can read. We define it is public data and then we can click that. So we go to the import into script button to import it to the worksheet. The default name is table. We can change it to maybe boundaries, or you can give it another name. How to visualize the boundary data? We can use the code map at layer. And then we click run. So how do we find it? We can add another code to make it zoom to the boundary data. We run. Okay, then it is the data. The boundary data is the first layer. We can change the name of the layer from layer 1 to another name. We can specify the name. Change this to the boundary. Then we click run script. And it says and it is changed to boundary. Then we click save. And then how do we specify it? Using the global administrative layers data, we can search the data. The name of data is and then we click enter. We can use the country boundaries data of the first level or the second level administrative units. Today we will use the country boundaries. You can click it. We copy the script of the collection snippet. We can close, and then we create a new variable. After we copy and then we paste it, and then we want to visualize it using the map add layer script. And it's the boundary of all country in the world. And then how do we specify the maybe on a country? We can click the inspector and then we inspect the layers. We can click the maybe on country. And then on the inspector, we can see the layer 2, which is the country data, or we can change it first to make it more clear. Then we zoom out. Then go to the properties. There is the administrative name of the country that we choose. Like it's Indonesia, or we can go to Malaysia, or we can go to another country. Like it's Thailand. Okay. Okay, let me use my country, it's Indonesia. We can specify it by creating a new variable, and then we filter it. We filter from the list administrative name, copy and we paste, and we specify the name. We save and click run. Okay. If we use only the Indonesia layer, and it's only Indonesia that is visualized. Or if we use country, it's all country in all over the world. If we choose Indonesia, then only Indonesia. Okay. Okay. So what's the next step? The next step is we use the radius data to find out the amount of solar energy that can be utilized. The higher the radiance, the greater the amount of solar energy that can be utilized. We can copy the name of the dataset, use the ERA5 line daily aggregate data, and then we copy it to the search bar. We use the daily data. To make it more clear, we can view the dataset indicator page. You can click the button. To access the radiance data, use the era 5 data from the bands of surface net solar radiation. Use the surface net solar radiance. To find out the amount of solar radiation, we use the bands. These bands. How do we use the data? First, we copy the Earth engine snip. Then go back to the worksheet. You can click close. Okay. Copy the Earth engine snip. And then we choose the data, which is the surface net solar radiation sum. The estimating is recorded and will be available at the WhatsApp group. After we choose the data, we can filter it by clouds. We choose the Indonesia data. We choose Indonesia as the region of interest. This is the whole country. We can filter the data from the start, maybe like 1st January of 2024 up until the end of the year. And then after we choose the bounds and the date, okay. And then we find the average radiance of the whole country. And then we click on Indonesia. And then we change the name of the bands to make it more simple. To become radiance. We can visualize it. We save and we click run. We wait until it is fully loaded, and then we specify the color. We can click the layers, the radiance layer, and then we can click the edit layer properties. We can stretch to find the minimum until the maximum range. And then we can use a palette from the lowest to the highest radiance. Maybe from the green up until red. Then we click OK, we apply. Okay. To save the visualization, you can click import. Import, then we click close. Under the boundary variable, there is image vis param, the parameter visualization of the radiance. We can specify the color of the visualization parameter by changing the it became the image vis parameter. And then we save and we run it. Okay. After we already have the radiance data, the next data that we should use is the temperature data. We use the MODIS Terraline surface temperature and emissivity daily with a resolution of 1 kilometer. We can copy it. For the radiance, the higher the radiance, the greater the amount of solar energy that can be utilized. However, if the higher the temperature, the lower the energy that can be utilized, because it can lead to the power loss. We copy and we paste it. Then we click enter. We use the daily data. There is we use the Terraline surface temperature and emissivity daily data. Then we can view the dataset indicator page. We can see the data, the land surface temperature data. It is almost impossible in all over the world. We have the minimum temperature is 7,500, and then the highest is the 65,000 degree of temperature. It is most impossible for the land surface temperature. And then why the data is in this value? Because it is not calibrated. We should calibrate it to make it in Celsius data. How do we calibrate it? First, we should multiply it by 0.2. Like it's already the scale. It is 4 multiply. And then after we multiply, it is in the Kelvin units. We should change it to Celsius. To change the Kelvin to Celsius, to convert Kelvin to Celsius. We subtract the data by the coefficient of to convert the Kelvin to Celsius. Okay, how do we do it? First, we copy the search engine snip, copy, and go to the worksheet. Okay, close. Okay. Then we select the bands. And then we'll filter the bounds and the date. And then after we get the temperature data, we change the value of the data. By first, we multiply it by 0.20, and then we subtract it by the Kelvin coefficient. And then we clip it on Indonesia data. And then we define the average temperature of all Indonesia. And then we keep it on Indonesia. And then we change the bands from the L as the unsurface temperature to make it more simple. We change it to temperature. Okay. Then we visualize the temperature data. Okay. Then we click the transcript, and then we wait until it is fully loaded of the temperature data to visualize it and make a color palette. Okay, we click the edit layer properties for the temperature, and we click stretch. And then we click palette from the lowest to the highest, maybe from the green until the red one. We click the apply. The red one is the highest temperature, and then the green one is the lowest. Okay, we click import, and then there is a second of visualization parameter of the temperature, and then we change it to the image face param 2, and then we save it. Okay, how do we classify and find the most optimum and the least optimum? Okay, first we should have the average data of radiance and temperature. Okay, how do you specify it? First, we create the variable of radiance bin, and then we use the reduce region. From the radiance data, we can find the documentations of the reduce region script. We need first a reducer. Because it is we want to find the mean of the radiance with the specific reducer for finding a mean, which is the reducer mean. And then after we find the reducer, we specify the geometry. It is the boundaries or the region of interest. We can use the Indonesia. And then we specify the scale. The scale that we use, we can use the same as the data, which is the pixel size. And then we use the base E4 option. If the polygon would contain 2 megapixels at a given scale, which is the scale of the data, you can use a larger scale until it is succeed. Okay, then click save and run. It is still computing. You wait until this is the okay. The mean of radiance in Indonesia is 13 million joule per meter square. After we find out the radiance of the mean of radiance, we can find also the mean of temperature in Indonesia. It is the same as above, but it's on the temperature data. The scale is different from the radiance data because it's on 1,000 meters. Okay. If we save it, we can click run. We wait until it is done. And then we can classify it based on the temperature, the mean of temperature data and the mean of radiance data. We wait until it is finished because it's a large area. The mean temperature of Indonesia is 26.7 Celsius. Okay. If you already have the radiance and the temperature data, we can classify it. The first one, the least optimum location, is fit as the low radiance but high temperature. High means greater than equal of mean data, and low means lower than of mean data. And then it is gradually go to the most optimal location, which is high. It has high radiance and low temperature. First, with the lowest radiance. It's less dense of the means. And it has the highest temperature. So the first class is the radiance is less than the mean, and the thermometer is higher than the mean, or low radiance and high temperature, the least optimum location. Then you can use the Morse code, and then we change it with low radiance and low temperature. We change the temperature from the greater than equal to less than the temperature mean. And it's the second class. For the third class, it has high radiance and high temperature. We change it from the LTR less than to greater than equal. And the most optimal location if it has high radiance but low temperature. And then we clip it on Indonesia. And then we visualize the classified data to find the location of the most optimum location for solar panel. Okay, now wait it until it is finished. Okay, after it's finished, we can classify it by color from 1 to 4. We can specify the palette from the red until the first class is red, and the second class is yellow, and then green maybe, and then the base class is only blue. You apply it to find the most optimal location in Indonesia. Okay. Okay, then after finish, we can import the visualization parameter. Okay, import, and it's the third parameter and specify it on the classify data. Then we can click save. Okay. The first class or the least optimum location is on the red one. It is the highest temperature but low radiance. Second class on the yellow, it has low temperature and low radiance. The third class is on the green. It has the high temperature and high radiance. The most optimum with the low temperature and high radiance is on the blue one. Okay. So after we find out the optimum location, then the analysis is that if you use the script, I will give you the link of the Earth Engine. And then if you want to use the script, you can go to the link that I have put it on the subject. You can copy it and then you can change on your location. Okay. So the script and then the recording and then the PowerPoint will be shared on the WhatsApp group again. Okay. Okay, to conclude the class. First, after we choose the area of interest, whether it is from, you can draw it, or you can use the zip file, or you can use the global administrative interest data. And then you can use the radiance data and then define the average or mean of the radiance. After we find the radiance and then we find the butter and mean of data, we classify it to 4 classification of to find the most optimum place or location to install the solar panel. Okay. Thank you for joining our class. All the data and then the script and the PowerPoint will then be delivered to the WhatsApp group. And then forget to fill out the Google form. to access the RCADA certificate. Thank you, and good afternoon.